of course, I've not qualified before I left school. Now, what took me to accounting? I think I've shared this story before. When in my secondary schools, I set out. Now, I have these friends, 3 of them. They were in commercial class. They were always complaining about accounts. Depreciation is hard. This is hard. And I love challenges as well. When I hear people talk about challenges, I want to dare it. And I said to myself, of course, we graduated from secondary school. This is my friend talking about depreciation, talking about account. What is in this account? I enrolled for GCE. I finished secondary school as an art student. In fact, best graduating art student. I won prizes and all of that. So I was really set out to become a lawyer. But these challenges with my friend, I took it up that, what is in this account? I took the form GCE. I went to lessons, started reading, preparing. My first attempt in account, I had A3. I have never done accounts in my life. I was art student, And I said to my friend, you people are saying account is hard. What is this? My first attempt, I took it, I had A3. But you people, you failed. Some even had F9. People that have been studying accounting. And I said, maybe I should go and read accounting in my university. Of course, I had admission in the Polytechnic Ibadan, financial studies, in ND, HND, and all of that. I graduated. I'm going to the aspect of prayer. Why prayer is very key. My mother-in-law, I was not married then. She was the supervisor at Camp Young Ede. I went to that place. There was a place they call prayer. I don't know what name they call it now. There's one small place like that where people pray. I went alone, midnight. I just poured out my life to God. Lord, I have finished HND. What is the next step for my life? I was writing ICANN. And I had this very clearly. You are on the right path. So I put in all effort. See, people of God, you have done with your NYSC, you have graduated. Please don't commonize the place of prayers. It will give you direction. And also all the things Deborah had mentioned, I don't want to go into that. I just want to emphasize that place of prayer. And I'm grateful today that I am not regretting that choice of career. I'm a seasoned accountant, I'm an FCA, and I'm still aspiring, in my field. Although, in the back of my mind, I still nurse the ambition of becoming a lawyer. And, sir? Yes. I was discussing it in a forum, and I was giving an advice that there is a part of law, maybe I'll ask Deborah when we are done, that can be specialized in finance and all of that. And I said, I want to take it up. So I still have that interest in law. So place of prayer is very essential that we should not commonize. What are the skills you can learn in finance? A lot, people. If you are a finance person, the commonest tool that you must harm yourself with, she had mentioned it, Excel. There's the foundation part of Excel, there's the intermediate, there's the advanced. I am not even advanced yet in Excel. Excel is so wide. Excel is so wide. I've attended so many interviews. We have interviewed people in my workplace, and one of the basic things you must know, basic, as a graduate in finance line is Excel. You must develop yourself. I've taught people in Excel, to the glory of God. I have, I don't want to hype myself. I know that I know Excel. I can do stuff with Excel. So that is one. What are other things? Now, I don't want to go in Excel line because there are also other financial modeling you can learn. There are Power BIs that will help you. These are an HR expert. She will tell you possibly a lot of things they will always look out for. If you have applied or you are vying for a finance role, these are basic things you must know. But while you are doing your NYSC, while you are dreaming of that job, please let's arm ourselves with these basic tools. Then, if you are a finance person again, ICANN has now become like our first degree. You cannot just say, okay, I'm a graduate of accounting in University of so or Polytechnic of so, and you don't have ICANN. you are limiting your potentials. You are limiting where you will go. So I can, because that's our professional body, it has become like the first degree. So you need to start somewhere, before you know it. All to the glory of God, when I started my ATS, I never had any carryover, I never had any issue. ATS 1, ATS 2, ATS 3. In 1.5 years, I became qualified. So it is something that is doable. And I challenge all of you. Well, because I love to read, I give myself to a lot of reading and studying. And I see that it actually paid off. So I encourage us to put on these two. There are a lot of skills actually, but let me just limit to these two.
Okay.
That's a very powerful story. I think maybe it's just apt to have my own stories, and everybody is starting with their story. Yes. So the question is, after NYSC, so what do you do, or how do you start up, right? So I'm a very intentional person. So I served in faraway Plateau State, and in a remote area where to access, it was days of cyber cafe. It wasn't the days of smartphone. So it was the days when it was cyber cafe. And until you get to a cyber cafe, you can't solve, you can't check. I think it was the days of, those sites, yeah, I will remember one of them now where you would get jobs. So it will take me 3 hours to get to Jos to even apply, if I have to apply for any job. But I had sat down. I grew up in Ibadan. I schooled in Ilorin. Those are sane places, permit me to use the word. In terms of also bustle of life, they are very, calm places. And by nature, I think I've gotten to Lagos and
Abi? It's exactly the same thing, but just two different ways of presenting it. So once you're going for an interview, you need to be able to show that you are detailed, you have a mindset of problem solving, right? You are able to communicate fine. You have that brain to analyze things, even if it's simple analytics. You are able to analyze problems. You're able to analyze the question that they've given to you. Also, while you're doing your interview, or while you've been called to do the interview, if they ask a question and you don't understand it, please feel free to always ask them, oh, can you rephrase the question? Some people begin to answer and then they go off point. You didn't understand the question in the first place. So how can you understand? How can you answer what you don't understand? So whenever you are there at the interview, I mean, apart from the fact that you have ensuring that you're able to show those technical skills that you have, the soft skills that you have, be ensuring that you understand each question that is being asked so that you're able to answer properly, right? And then I think finally what I'll say is read about the organization. Sometimes they'll ask you, okay, what do you know about this organization? If I'm interested in an organization, or rather if I'm interviewing somebody that supposedly you said you're interested in this role, and I say, okay, what do you know about this organization? And you say, I didn't really see anything online. You didn't see anything online. Okay, so how will you fit in if you, first of all, you didn't even take the time to read on the organization? It means you're not really serious. So before you go for your interview, read about the organization, ensure you understand the role you are going for, right? Be able to clearly outline your technical skills, your soft skills, right? Clarify questions before you answer, right? And then, yeah, I think for me that's
Is there a part of asking the interviewer's question?
Okay, yes. I mean, that's the final part. They'll always ask you, do you have a question for them? So it's good to always prepare a good question. Maybe, ask them, okay, what is the long-term goal of this organization, right? So you can even ask them something personal. What do you enjoy? Sometimes it throws them off balance, but it makes them laugh. Okay, well, ask them about their own experience in the organization. You can ask about the organization, the goals of the organization. It makes you look like a forward-thinking person that, you are not just looking at the job. You are looking at, okay, where is this organization headed, right? So you can ask questions relating to that. And you can ask questions about the panelists in terms of, how have you enjoyed working in this organization? What are your good experiences? And it even makes them relax, right? Because now they're talking about themselves. Do you understand? So you can, no, don't answer that.
Yeah, I also want to say something about that too. About salary expectations. How do we discuss it? When you ask me, so for example, let's say we do a demo, I ask me, what are the salary expectations? I'll just tell you, so there was one interview I went for, and they asked me the salary expectation. I didn't know what to say. I was just like, but that was in my mind, That was in my mind. I didn't really give them a figure. But I would love for you to discuss, if possible, give us a template of what to say if they ask me salary expectations, so that I won't appear too needy.
Forward.
Exactly.
Right. So when organizations or when the HR practitioners are asking for your salary information, first is for information. There are some organizations that truly, they will, even if the role, what is, let's say 100,000. If you tell them, maybe where you were before, you were earning 20,000, I say, 50,000 is okay. That's what they'll give you. So, I'll say two ways, right? Allow them make an offer. When they say, what is your salary expectation? To let them know that, I understand that there's a salary band for this role, right? A salary band for this role, and a salary expectation, a salary band for this role. And I am open to negotiating based on what the current band is. So you keep it open. Don't give them a figure. So I'll give you an example. The job I was in before I came to Deloitte, what I was earning was like half of what I'm earning in Deloitte. So imagine maybe in my head I was like, okay, if I add 100,000 to this, it's okay. And then what they are supposed to pay me is like double of what I was currently earning. I've shot myself in the foot, right? So I kept the conversation open. I said, okay, I know that there's a band for this, right? I'm open to negotiating based on what the organization is willing to offer. That is if I'm qualified for the role. And you let them make their offer.
Okay, so there's no place of me putting out my own figure out there?
So if you're an experienced professional, there's a difference. So if as an entry-level person, to be fair, allow the organization offer you, mostly they will offer you what is in the pay band for that role that they are giving for entry level, there's always a pay structure they are working with. So there's a band they are working with, right? Yes. When you now get it as an entry level person, my advice is keep it open so that when they offer, you can say, oh, okay, maybe this where I was coming from, this is what I'm already earning, is close to this. So in the pay structure, there are 3 figures. There's a minimum figure, there's a medium, and then there's maximum figure in a band. So as a graduate trainee, there are 3 types of salary. There's maybe, let's say 100,000, there's 150, then there's 180 for same graduate trainee. That's how we do a pay structure. We do 3 levels. It's a band for each grade level, right? So organizations will immediately at first offer you the first level, right? So, but if you have a strong argument in terms of, oh, there's this skill that you know that they really need it, you could tell that they need this skill, and you have it, you can then negotiate once you've gotten the offer to say, oh, understanding that, oh, I have this skill, and from where I'm coming from, you know, I have a bit more expectation. Can this be reviewed? Exactly. Do you understand? Can this be reviewed? And then they can go ahead and review. But if you're coming in as a senior level person, you have the experience, you are confident of what you can do, then you state your expectations. At that level, you're able to state your expectations. In fact, I've seen people that stated they want a car. Wow. They wanted 1% of the profit of the organization. Yes.
Senior level.
Daring. Senior level, yes. The woman is a lady. She said she wanted 1% of the organization's profit. Do you know what 1% of the organization's profit is? A company that was making profit in billions. Wow. 1% is at least nothing less than millions for her. She requested for it. Requested for a car. And then I said, okay, we cannot do 1%. We'll do 0.7% of the organization's profit as a senior level person.
She got it?
Yes. They told her they can't do what? They did 0.7%.
Wow.
So there are 2 levels to it. If you have the experience already, you are confident of what you can do, yes, you can put your figure forward and negotiate with that. But if you don't, you know, you're as an entry level, because I was focusing on the fact that we are trying to get into the workplace in the first place. So be open to the structure and the pay that the organization has. And then you can then leverage the skills you have to say, okay, can this be reviewed upward?
Do you have any reactions from?
No, just additions. She's the expert, so additions. I would say that in the last 8 months, no, in the last 10 months, I've been involved with a lot of recruitment. And so which has made me sit at interview panels and I watch people. So in the last couple of months, I've taken particular interest in younger people or anybody going for interviews. And I want to have a demo session with you. And I recall that last month, you know, I'd called somebody, she had an interview. Okay, let's assume that I'm your recruiter and all that. And okay, introduce yourself. And I was shocked to hear, okay, the only part that she didn't tell me was that she's a female. You know, yes. It sounds funny, but that's just the truth. And then she had said, oh, she's a Christian, she lives so, she's married. And I said, please, let's stop. If an interviewer is asking you to introduce yourself, it's an opportunity to sell yourself. So nobody wants to know where you live, whether you worship at Ijero Baptist Church, how many children you have. You know, it's not part of introducing yourself, so that we don't lose that opportunity. And there are interviews that, you know, from the first set of words that the candidates would say, you're already off. You're off. And it will be difficult to recover or to change your mindset. So I would say that anytime we should put our best foot forward. And what you are not prepared for, it would only be grace that would make you excel in it. Last month, I found myself being interviewed. Yes, I would say you would wonder, I found myself being interviewed. It was my sister. I have one over Sabi sister. She just wants to see me growing all the time. And then she had applied for for a job, and she didn't even tell me about it. So I just got a call that I had an interview at so I just managed to put up appearance. It was a virtual interview. And you could tell that I wasn't prepared. Because when they had asked, what do you know about the organization? One thing is, I was honest. I just told them a little that I think I solved some few minutes to the interview. But it wasn't too difficult for the interviewers to pick that part that I did not know so much about. So please, let's be prepared anytime. Ask me. It wasn't so much of a big deal for me because as it is, I don't think it's a place I really want to go to. Sometimes you want to attend interviews because you want to pick one or two things too that you want to learn. Because believe you me, Sheyi has been asking about after NYSC. Even after NYSC, you've landed that job. See, your dreams can get bigger. Or it should even get bigger. Let me put it that way. Because what is your dream job today? If in 2, 3, 4 years it's still your dream job, then you should check yourself. I think our theme for the youth for 2025 is breaking forth. And breaking forth would also mean that you are breaking limits. So if you had a limit that you had set for yourself at a time, that this is it, I don't think that you are right or you are doing well for yourself if you stay at that point. So for every time, like Deacon Jide said, challenge challenges. So let your comforts, what gives you comfort now, let's shift the goal all the time. So like I said, for that organization, it would seem like it's dragging me back. She just wanted to see me grow. And that was why she applied for the job. But it was easy to see. Even me, I knew I wasn't prepared. And one other thing that I would say that I would encourage or I would advise us, there are a lot of YouTube videos that we watch. And some people are not HR professionals. And for the fact that they just want traffic. So we take in a lot of content. And then we get to interviews and we fumble. I've watched some of them. You see people tell you, don't keep quiet, right? Just keep talking until they say stop. And you know, for somebody who wants to, if just be blabbing, you would have, maybe your first 3 sentences, you've said what is correct. And then in the name of continue talking until they say stop, you just keep talking. Then you talk away the sense in what you have said, and you start spewing rubbish. I don't know if Deborah would, and then you get to that point that the interviewer is like, so be wise in some of those nuggets that we pick from all those videos on YouTube. There's nothing, I don't think you should keep talking, and then, if you feel that you've said enough, I think it's wise to just put a stop to it and let the interviewer know so that you don't cross that line that you start saying what is not. And where you don't have a question for the interviewer, most times you find out that interviews are in stages. Don't beat yourself hard or don't feel like you must say something. Even a fool is considered wise when he keeps quiet. Yes. So you can hide your folly in silence. So if you don't have anything useful to say at that time, I think it's wise for you to just say, no, for now, I don't think I have anything to say. For an entry level, like she said, you would be safe playing around the band that is available for that role. But for an experienced role, I would say that having a good negotiation skill would help you. And I saw that happen to me last year. I saw the offer. I was at an event. I was so excited because I would say that if it is, this is a dream job. This salary is, wow. And I said, I'm just so going to accept this offer. And one thing with me is I check with my spirit really well. It was a Saturday, and I got back home. Sunday, I didn't see that push to go and respond to that email. Then I sat back and I prayed. And then that that period I listened to people's testimonies, and then they'll be like, oh, I asked for more. I asked for more. And then I found myself without no reason. Something that when I saw the offer, I was so excited that, oh, this is it. And then I just found myself saying, I didn't respond. And the HR lady called me. Oh, what is it? I said, I feel that the offer is too small. Inside my mind, I was laughing because I knew that it wasn't small. But sometimes let's learn to negotiate and negotiate well. And from there, we started negotiating. And then I found them offering me something more. And I was like, wow. So I would say, because I decided to add to what she has said, that let's play around the band and then let's wait for the offer. Sometimes when you see the offer also, let's pray so that we don't miss an opportunity. Because for every offer that you have, they have other people that they've kept in view in case you don't, or you don't accept or you don't respond to them in time. But with wisdom also, let's know the worth that we carry, as children of God. And where we feel that nudge to negotiate higher, please, let's go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Please, can you give them a round of applause? We'll be coming for questions in a bit. I just want to ask this last question. So, let's imagine there is someone that was working in a bank or in a corporate space and the person was sacked or retrenched, and for the person to get back into the 9-to-5 space, there's like a space of 2 years, 3 years. Of course, it's going to reflect in the CVs and it's going to raise questions. How do I manage that area when I'm asked that question in an interview?
Okay, so it depends, right? It depends on a lot of things. You said the person was sacked. That's one.
Yeah. Or let's say the person, let's use 2 instances, sorry. Sacked and resigned.
Sacked and resigned.
Yeah.
So there must be good reasons, right? And resign is better because if you were sacked, it doesn't mean that if you were sacked, it's the end of the world, right? But if maybe you had to, there has to be a good reason for you to have resigned, right? For some people, maybe you took a career break to go and study. You can explain that. Or you took a career break to give birth. You can explain that. But if you got sacked and say you did not get any job in that period, what is wise to do, I would say, right? Because the truth is, it raises a red flag. Okay, so what were you doing for the past 2 years, right? So if you're able to, maybe in that space, find something that you're doing. If it's a business, you can say, oh, I left the corporate world to start off a side business of mine, and I thought I needed, that time to focus on it. Do you understand? So that it gives them that confidence that, oh, you were not just idle for the past 2 years. Because trends change, right? Things are coming out every day. So even if you're a finance person today, you understood the modeling and all of those things, and 2 years has passed and you've not touched your hand on those things, you forget it. Do you understand? And then new trends are coming out every day. So it's best to either you have an ideal reason for why you left. Maybe it's for work, or it was for school, or you went to focus on your family, or it was a health break. You don't need to explain too much. If it was a health break, you can explain that away. So first of all, have a good reason for why you took that break. And if there's not really a reason, be able to tie it to something else that you are doing, right? To say, okay, maybe I had to take this time off because I needed to focus on this initiative that I'm working on. It's a personal adventure that I'm working on. Just something that gives them that comfort that you were not just idle for the past 2 years. So that's how you can explain it. I don't know if Deacon has anything.
All right, thank you very much. She's very apt in that. You don't want to put before your interviewers that, oh, I was sacked at my last job. That's a red flag. Nobody will call you again. They will just listen to you, and you are gone, and you are gone. So you don't want to say that. So like she had advised, even if you were sacked, and of course that will show in your CV. I'm going to address this in 2 ways. That will show in your CVs. So you want to tell them, even that period, make sure you are doing something. Please don't be idle.
this generation, this is our generation, we are so blessed with a lot of things to learn. There's nothing you want to learn in this life. Just type it on Google, YouTube. It will give you anything. Anything you want to learn that will add to your skill. So that's very essential. Even when you are sacked and you're on job hunting, please make sure you are doing something. Then another thing we observe, and maybe she will also add to this, we need to be very careful of flight risk. What do I mean by flight risk? On your CVs, okay, your first place, you could barely stay 6 months or 1 year. Another one, they are saying you use 8 months. Another one, another job you are done. Maybe you even tried that one 1 year or 1.5 years. Another one. Sincerely, when we see all of this on CVs, there's that risk that, when we get you, when we engage you or employ you, you might also do the same. So you want to be very careful on your flight risk. Ensure that, okay, what you are setting out, that's why all the things we have said, make sure that they are, because you are looking for growth for a job that will align with your growth, that will align with your interest, that will make you grow and all of that. They are very, very essential so that you are building experiences on what you are doing. This is very essential. I know that the money part is there. Oh, I want a job that will pay me this big. We have said a lot of things. It's a gradual thing. I remember when I started my first job as a graduate. I think I've shared it before in this church. As a graduate writing icon, in professional level 2. My first job was 11,000 naira. 5th of September 2005. I can't forget. 11,000 naira. And I took it gladly. And today I'm grateful. I'm grateful to God. I kept increasing and, of course, adding skills to myself. And I'm grateful for where I am today. Of course, this is not the bus stop. I still aspire for more. Now, on the part of preparing for interview, I just want to add 3 things again that they have mentioned. First, people of God, I think we cannot overemphasize this. Do not use a generic CV for all applications. This is my CV. This job came. You send it. Another one, you send that same CV. She had mentioned so many things that are very profound. Tailor your CV. Work on your CV to match those JDs, those job descriptions. Very essential. Please work on your CV for every opportunity you get or you want to apply for. Very, very necessary, please. Of course, you are not going to tell lies. It's things you do, your interests, your skills, and all of that. At least you look at those descriptions, job descriptions, and you see so many awesome things that align with what you do. The emphasis is that you are working on those CVs. And nobody will read 20-page CVs. Gone are those days. So that they will know that I have those things don't determine your experience. HRMA, 20 CVs, do you even have time? 8 years will even screen you out. Applicant tracking system, they will screen you out. They will not even shortlist you. So that is very essential. Now, interviews today can be online or in person. If you are going for an in-person, as in physical interview, you don't want to get there late and sweating. That destabilizes you already. You want to get there maybe at the very minimum 30 minutes before the scheduled time. It's very essential. And maybe you want to check. I remember when I got an opportunity somewhere at Apapa there, a budget manager. And I'm not familiar with that terrain. The interview was on a Monday. I had to go and find out that area. I drove there to Apapa on Saturday just to say, this is this company. This is where. How will I navigate? Do I need to drive or do I need to go on a public transport? Or I prepare myself for that so that logistics will not be an issue. Then your appearance is very essential. Both what you are wearing and your exactly. You want to show those positive vibes. They are asking you questions. I remember one interview we had recently with some people. We are asking a question like, your own is too much. Ask what you. We were seeing that on the face of that person. You ask a question and you are throwing some attitude. People are looking for, as in organizations are looking for culture fit that will fit into our values. You are not the only one. Of course, this is an HR person. Do you know how many CVs they shortlist? Maybe on a daily basis. You are now got the opportunity. You are now showing one character, one behavior, and please, you want to put on a very good vibe. Your appearance wants to be friendly, be optimistic. Like you mentioned, for you to be shortlisted, please know that you have something they are looking for. And be positive about whatever you want to say. You don't have to be so verbose on your explanation. Be concise, and be precise. And I'm telling you, you will get that job. Then, finally, I remember, we just had one interview last week. We are looking for a finance officer where I work. We had a lot of them. So there was this lady. Of course, it was a virtual interview online. I mean, when you are online, when you are in your house, you tend to dress anyhow. This lady was putting on, sorry, I don't know what you ladies call it, just like a singlet. Spaghetti. Oh, good Lord.
Oh, Jim.
Oh, good Lord. I could barely stand. I just said, I can't hold this interview. I was not even interested in whatever she was going to. That appearance was enough to put me off. And I gave her, and she was not, she was sorry, sir. It was because she had to quickly log in. Were you not preparing for this interview? You had to quickly log in. You have a scheduled time. We were going to dial you in and all of that. You are now saying you have to quickly log in. Please, you want to. I'm not saying you should suit up. When you are in the comfort of your home, I'm not sure that HR people are looking for you to suit up, now put on tie, you are now sweating again. At least be moderate. Dress decently. Let your appearance even be friendly to the interviewer. And I'm sure with God, you will get that dream job.
Sister Bessie has something to say.
I think you'll be safe if you suit up. If he requires it, yes. I like to be intentional. And especially so that, because you don't know who is also on that interview panel. Usually you have your HR, maybe the hiring manager, and one or two other people. And the opinion of everybody at the end of the day would add up to, the recommendation or, that will be given on your matter. So I think you'll be safe if you are putting on. So for my virtual interviews at home, I have this bolero, whatever it is I'm wearing. By the time I had that bolero to it, he just converts it to a corporate wear. So we should just be smart about some of these things. You necessarily don't have to go and suit up. It might be something that would, put, for a guy, if you would have to use your tie, I don't think, except even when they are looking for an MD of a company, it must be that they enjoy your vibes to have that interview for 1.5 hours. And usually that's like a chat, and you are so relaxed and all that. I don't think the interview should extend beyond maybe 45 minutes or 1 hour-ish. So if you give yourself that discomfort, let me put it in quotes, of having your tie on for a virtual interview, I think you would have bargained well. It's a good compromise if you have to do that, so that you don't have somebody on the panel that will feel like this person is, why is this person dressed like this? Just some little things can put anybody off. So let's be careful. And our mannerism also, our body language. What are the things that we feel like our regular Gen Z language that are not workspace or workplace compliant? So I had an interview a particular day, and when you are like, sure you get. Yes. Sure you get. And you know, there were a number of those nuances that she had in her speech. You know, there were just a good number of them. You know, sure you get is one thing I can remember now. That one, you don't need
That job was not given.
that particular lady, as in sure you get. So let's be mindful when we are going for an interview. We are not talking to our friends. You know, we have to put up the highest level of comportment that we can think about. You can now start working in the workspace itself. You have your colleagues that you are working with. You're explaining things to yourself. Oh, sure you get. But for an interview, for crying out loud, please, let's be as professional as you possibly can be. Because those little things, there are some little things. So let me just drop this. I think last month or like 3 weeks back, you know, I'd recommended somebody to be interviewed. And then at the end of the day, so I was asking for a feedback, you know, and they said, oh, we didn't recommend her for the next stage. So what was the issue? Because I had a demo session with her. And I would say, since I've been having demo sessions with people, pre-interview demo sessions, okay, so introduce yourself. I've not seen somebody that would give me a perfect introduction of herself. She was able to sell herself in 1 minute, and I was so impressed, you know. So I was so confident that she would do well. And then I had to talk to 2 people. The third person is either a yes or no person, so I know I won't get an objective view of what happened. But from the HR person and the other guy, you know, they perceived this vibe of, because I know the person that's recommended me for this, I already have this job. That was the vibe that they were getting from body language. And you know, that was one thing that put them off, regardless of how well, you know, she performed. Because one thing, you are not the only person they are speaking to on that particular day, most likely. In fact, there are times that we have 8 candidates that you are talking to. So, no, that's why you cannot afford to keep your good side at home. Put your best foot forward anytime that you have to show up, anytime that you have to speak, because you don't know who else has an A game to show up that day. And then the organization possibly has only one vacancy to fill, and there are 8 people. So you must put up your best appearance, your best mannerism, pray for favor, because you could have 3, 4 people that you are now recommending for the next stage, and it's favor that will now distinguish one from the other. So let's be mindful of our regular mannerism, sure you get, as in, you know, so just be careful. If you need to have a demo session, if you need to stand by your mirror, you know, and start speaking, record it, listen to it afterwards, and do that over time. If it will help you, please, let's do it. And back to if you were sacked and then you're trying to get back in. I'd said it before, life abhors vacuum. And one thing you would do as a disservice to yourself is to have that idle time in your career, in anything. So like everybody else has said, when you are sacked, pick up yourself and start doing something. Either it's your business. In fact, I would say if you want to come back, or you really love that corporate environment, you might need to also make some compromises, right? If you were at a particular grade level, apply for, just keep applying. If you were maybe on a step after entry level, you know, if you consider starting all over again as taking you back, you might be stuck and never find your footing. So if it would take you to have that compromise of starting all over, it might be a good bargain for you. Even if it is not now starting all over, I've seen somebody who last year he couldn't, it wasn't confirmed. 6 months confirmation period. I don't know what happened. The guy appears to be one who is overconfident, and I think he had issues with the HR person, and for whatever reason, that 6 months passed. He did not complete his confirmation, and then he was asked to go. So one thing that he now felt, now from where he's coming from, he took this job that he wasn't eventually confirmed in on a next level. So by the time he was getting other opportunities, they were offering him so he was looking to have a next level, and that would not happen, right? So he was stuck for quite a number of months. So I think at some point he had to speak to himself that he has to go back and accept that level that he had moved from, and that's the way he was able to get back into the workforce. So sometimes if you have to make such compromises, being sacked is not a good place. So if you would need to bend, over backwards to find yourself back, it might be a good thing to do, so that you are not stuck forever.
Okay, please, do we have any questions? Just, please, can you raise our hands better to see? 1, 2, 3, 4. After those 4 questions, I think that wraps it. 5, 6, wow. 7. Okay, please, let's make it snappy as fast as possible. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for this section. My question will be in regards to my own profession as an engineer. So how do we differentiate professional certification? Because during my NYSC, I had HSC 1, 2, 3, project management, and some other certifications. But to discover that most of these certificates are not acceptable in construction, and they were being marketed to us and secondly, looking at the engineering world, there's this high discrimination between BSc or BNG and a polytechnic graduate. So as an HR, what do you suggest to an HND holder? Then lastly, looking at the issue of job insecurity and me landing my career job, how do I secure my job? For example, when I got my first job here in Lagos, 2 months after, they want to sack 11 engineers out of 12. So today, this is my over 2 years now. I don't know what made me qualify to be the last engineer in my company. So how do you secure your job after landing your dream job?
So let's take everything at once. So is that fine?
Someone write.
Okay, someone is noting this. Please, I need someone to help me note it. Someone wrote a question. So the person here says, he asked 2 questions. He says, as a teacher looking to transition into admin work with no experience, how can I cope? I have a background in business administration. And the second question is, what types of online courses can I take to boost my CV? Those are the 2 questions. Please hope someone is noting. You have a question? I'm coming. Okay, please just respond to the first one. So we just get on to note it as we go along. So do we have 2 questions now? Should I repeat it?
Yeah, repeat.
Okay, the first one is talking about how can secure his job. Then this person here is saying, as a teacher looking to transition into admin work with no experience, how can I cope? I have a background in business administration. And the second question is, what types of online courses can I take to boost my CV?
So I'll take his question first. And he talked about, yes, they did it to us too. When I was in camp, they're like, oh, project management course, this one course, HR course. By the time I came out, like, these are not recognized organizations. They give you paper certificates. They're not recognized. So also, not to lose its sight of, so especially for the engineering field, they want to be sure that you are certified to do what you claim you read, because they know that what they teach in school is nonsense sometimes, right? So I know that it may cost. So what I would advise is, for people that have not gone through the stage of maybe doing NYC, you're in an engineering course, it's important that you are already, just like Deacon had said, that when he was doing his accounting, he already started doing his ICANN. right? If you can start it early, start doing the certifications that are recognized. They are online. They are online. Coren, being part of those organizations. Even if I think there's some, you're able to register as a student member for most of these organizations. So you can start off registering as a student organization. If those things are on your CV, even if you've not gotten the entire certificate, it gives you an edge than the regular person that, in quotes, has gone to do all those other menial certifications and put them. So those things are just paper certifications. So firstly is browse or Google research on the field that you want to go into to see the recognized certifications. They are the ones that are recognized in Nigeria. They are the ones that are recognized globally, right? I think the ICANN is for Nigeria, but aside the ICANN, there's the ACA that is ACCA, that's globally recognized for the finance people. For the HR people, we have CIPM in Nigeria, right? But we also have like the international certifications that you can take. For engineering, if you don't have the Korean on your CV, nobody's looking at your CV twice. You must have those things, and then if there are other global institutions you can register with, fantastic, right? Most people will recognize when they see that, oh, it's international. Even if they don't know the organization, as far as it's not Nigeria, you didn't put Osho, the certification college. There's just that interest that it puts there. So make your research, right, to know the ones that are recognized here in Nigeria and outside the country, and the ones that you can get, especially for the ones outside, the ones you can get online, right? That's for your question. And then in terms of securing the job, so I will not lie to you, what organizations do, especially for some technical positions, and I really don't know why, they mostly put them on contract so that they are able to pay less. Yeah, they put them on contract so that they are able to pay less, and they can retrench you at any time, and that's what your contract says, maybe 6 months, 1 year contract. So when you are doing your application, I would say you focus on looking for those jobs that are full-time roles. I know sometimes it's like, oh, I just need something to do, and you're looking for, so you're moving from one contract to one contract to one contract. Rather, prioritize searching for full-time roles in organizations, right? There's no job that is secure 100%, and that's the truth, except you're working in civil service, and you know that nothing will shake me from here. But if you're working in the corporate, private sector, be ready to be on the move. Do you understand? So I want to stay, yes, you can stay in an organization and you can grow. I see people that they've been in an organization 10 years, 15 years, but have it as a mindset that as long as, yes, I want to secure my job, I also want to, let me tell you, the truth is the way the talent pool is, right? If, as she was giving the example of the guy that I wanted to move to the next level, right? If I'm currently, say, I am a senior officer where I am, and I'm applying for other jobs, I am very more likely to negotiate for a manager position, right? And maybe that would take you, maybe I've done senior officer here for 1 year, and then I apply for maybe an assistant manager or a manager job. I may be able to get it. But in that organization that you are, it may take you another 3 years before they promote you to another level. So have it in mind that, yes, I want to secure my job, but what is the next opportunity for me to develop myself? Because what a new organization will also do for you is giving you a new challenge to handle. You can become so used to a place that this is what you do. Your brain goes to auto mode, right? You're just, because this is what I do. You switch on these lights, you do this. You're used to it already. You are not growing yourself anymore. When you stay, for me, there are most jobs, when you stay there doing the same thing, it becomes autonomous. You are just repeating the same thing. It becomes a routine. You're not growing your skill. You're not growing yourself professionally. So have the mindset of, yes, as much as I want to stay here and learn and grow, be looking for outside opportunities. Don't seek. There's no organization that is loyal to you. So have that mind too, that I am loyal to growing myself. I'm loyal to growing my career and improving myself. So have that mindset. That's what I would say. That's for his question.
Can I be honest with you? Yes. So one thing I've seen is that there's this dichotomy between an HND graduate and a university graduate. Very unfortunate, especially even in the civil service. And that's the government that should unify or that should put a balance to everything. If you want to join the civil service today as a, excuse me, as a BSc holder, you are a step higher than somebody who is an HND holder. It's very unfortunate. And in terms of the technical know-how, I would say, or I would think that the person that has gone to a polytechnic should rank higher, right? But the reality of where we are in Nigeria today is the fact that a polytechnic graduate is always treated like a second-rated citizen. Why am I saying that? It might be a reason why it's a contract job that is available in that range. And what can you do? You know, it is to push yourself beyond whatever would be like a barrier to your moving forward. Please break forth out of it. Are there courses that you can do to regularize your your HND and make it look like a BSc? Please go for it. And then the next opportunity is there waiting for you.
So,
All
would you
right.
like to answer the
No,
question?
just for this other question you have asked about someone with a biz admin background, but a teacher. Yeah, you know, we had mentioned short-term goals and long-term. Perhaps your teaching opportunity afforded you that short-term, and now your long-term could be your biz admin. It is never too late. Sincerely, nothing is late in life. You can always start again. You can always pick where you are stopped. So if you have that as your long term, just brush up yourself again. Look for courses that are related to what you have studied. Begin to study them. You might even want to enroll for one professional. You know, you can always start again professional courses or so, just to position yourself for opportunities in that space. Opportunities will always come for biz admin. So you don't want to just give up because you've been teaching all your life. Maybe what you were even teaching is not even relevant to your biz admin. Yes, let's even assume that. But now that perhaps as a result of what you have heard this evening, you want to pick up your career again, it is not late. Look for courses that are relevant to your study. You can always get that online. Start a professional exams. Before you know it, in a year or two, you become a professional and you have to work on your CVs. From there, you know, opportunities will surely come your way.
Okay, who else raised his hand for question?
Sorry, let me just add to that person, the one with the English that wants to transition.
Okay, the
So,
teacher.
something you can do very practically. Go online, look for JD of admin officer or admin role that you are looking for. So look for the job description online for that job that you are looking for, to begin to look at the responsibilities that the person is required to carry out. That's one. Two, look for the qualifications or the certifications, if there are any, for the role. That already gives you, quick access to know, okay, these are the kind of things I'll be expected to do. These are certifications they'll be looking out for if I am applying for an admin job. So that's one practical thing you can start off with first. The second thing is that there is no job that you will not learn transferable skills. Refer to them as transferable skills. As a teacher, you were coordinating human beings. Students, you were teaching, you were coordinating them. You already have that coordination skill, right? You have that skill of coordinating. That's already administrative in itself. You're coordinating people, you're able to maybe the records of the students, you file this properly. Those are already skills that an admin person should need, that you already have. So you should also be able to, one thing that you can do is once you do your research in terms of, okay, what are the responsibilities required of this admin, in this admin role, you begin to think of, okay, what have I done that I can transfer? What is the skill I currently have that I can transfer to this role that I'm looking for, so that if you get the opportunity to go for an interview, you're not just saying, I've only done teaching all my life. No, you've done teaching, but while you did your teaching, you gained some skills that you can transfer into this job. You're able to coordinate resources. You're able to coordinate resources in the classroom. You use maybe chalk, you use marker, all those things. They are resource coordination. You know that, okay, the marker will soon finish, so I have to, request, make some requisitions for the materials you need in the classroom. You understand? So, praise God. So these are skills that are transferable. So you begin to think of those things that you know that you can transfer into this new job that can help you. So that's just what I wanted to add.
Someone, yes, please.
For that question, in addition, one easy way to get into any organization is through the customer service unit. If you are looking, because I've seen it happen, it's usually like a training ground, especially for somebody who is looking to just come into the organization, and then you have your game plan, of course, that you would well be able to execute with your own, the skills that you are building up and how well you are able to, prove yourself worthy. So customer service is something that she can. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, it's one thing.
Okay, so this person here says, how do you, I think the person means manage. How do you manage opportunities that comes from secondment from another organization? Another question.
Okay, thank you very much for all you've shared. Well, let me give a backdrop to my question before asking it. Some of us are fortunate to finish school late. That is just the reality. And then there are graduate training opportunities. Of course, we're also graduates too, regardless of whether we're late or early graduates. How do we find our way into the system? Mostly, as you have 8 years, if I put my age limit, it knocks me off automatically. And that is more like a filter to maybe reduce the number of people probably you would want to actually have the opportunity of reviewing their CVs. How do I now, okay, the question actually is, does age actually matters in the long run? After you've actually checked that I can actually do this job, and based on your interview, I'm okay. Does age matter in the long run? That's what the question I'm asking directly.
I want to ask the questions. Who else?
Praise the Lord. So as a person that values teamwork, I found myself in a place where there's no teamwork, no team spirit, and spiritually and even in my mind, I'm not like settled. I'm just a month at this place, and I don't want to. And presently, I'm thinking of opting out because there's no, the spirit is just not there. My supervisor, they're supposed to like put me through. Or what I get is, if you have any question, come and ask me. Right from the HR, everybody, there's no, hi, you, maybe you are this person. So I don't know, in that kind of situation, should I just opt out? Because that is what I'm thinking about.
Praise the Lord. Okay, so my question is not from the angle of you are the employer, employing people, or you are the recruiter. Okay, so I want us to divert our attention to you being the employee. So my question is about being an employee. Okay, so you just got a job, and then in the interview you wowed them and they gave you the job. And then so at the point of doing the job, you now begin to feel so unsure of, you know those things you told them during the interview that you can do, and then when you finally got the job, you now begin to feel, can I really, all the things I've said I've done, of course you can do it, but then maybe because of past experiences, you now begin to feel so unsure, so like, can you actually deliver? So at that point in time, as an employee, you know that, oh, they're expecting so much because of what you've been able to tell them and wow them at the interview. What can be advised? What can you do?
Any other question? Please come in if you have a question.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Our speakers. Yeah, so my question, I think there are two. One is for undergraduate students, people who are still in the university. What do you advise them to begin to do to prepare them for the workplace? You know, whether we like it or not, there are a couple of opportunities as a student that you can take up, right, that can propel you for your career. So I really want us to emphasize on that. The second question is I want us to really talk about balance between just doing anything and doing something that aligns with your career. I know our first speaker, Mrs. Olutono, right? Yes. You mentioned about don't just be idle. Don't be idle. Just do something. I agree. But at the same time, I am of the school of thought that whatever I would do, it has to be something that aligns with my career. You know? And also with the fact that every job is unique and different. You can say, oh, I have worked in 3 FMCGs. They may be the same FMCG, but they're different, right? So even if I want to apply, if I've worked in Nestle, for instance, and I want to apply into Cadbury, I would not say because I have the same experience. I still need to tailor my CV to the culture or specific things that you might have in that company. So that's where I'm going. I want us to have a balance or talk about balance between I just want to do anything versus do something that would align with your career. There was a time I was not also working, and what I was just doing was online courses. Just like the Jide said, I'm also not boasting, but I have a very good skill in that area. And that was as a result of me just spending time in that area. Yes, you may not be working, but you can be doing certain online certifications. I have done certifications in different things, in public speaking. I have done I feel that they are relevant, whether you like it or not. Any job, it's something that can propel you. So those are my 2 questions. Thank you.
Okay, praise the Lord. Just going in line with doing something while you are not doing an official job. Okay, I would like to ask, what if what you're doing is not really an official something? How do you impute that into your CV? Of course, there should be a company name or a company they can refer to confirm whatever it is you must have been doing. What if it was a startup that you started yourself? Or what if it was, yes, a startup you started yourself or just a skill you acquired? Of course, the gap here is going to show that for a while you've not been doing anything. So how do you add that to your CV?
Okay. Praise the Lord. My question is that let me use it as somebody asked me questions, so I need to ask. When you are in system already, and then maybe about 2 years later, they are employing more people, and then you find out that your salary is different with the new people. Their own is higher than you. After all, you still have more qualification than them, certification than them. In that system, can we meet HR to renegotiate, or I don't know? Thank you.
I think these are the questions we have for now. Please, answer them, snapping answering them. Who would like to go first? Okay.
Okay, let me just go first. I mean, for the ones that I noted down, does age matter? Yes, age matters for an entry-level position. There are some organizations that are very finicky about age. If you're above a certain age, they would not accept it. But there are a lot of other organizations that do not, especially if it's not an entry level. For entry level, they require you to, because they feel like you are malleable when you are younger. They're able to bend you to the culture of the organization and their practices. So they always look out for younger people. So, but what you can do is, that's for you that said, okay, you graduated a bit
later than yeah, later than others, right? What you can do is you can look for internship opportunities first, right? What those internship opportunities or even contract opportunities can do for you is you begin to have and begin to build your CV, so that you now stop applying as an entry-level person, but as an experienced person. Do you understand? So you have moved from I have no experience at all to okay, I have some experience that I can leverage on. I'm not an entry-level person. So that's how you can leverage being older than the normal graduate. So the normal graduate is looking for, oh, Access Bank is doing graduate to trainee. This one is doing graduate training. They are rushing to apply. You're already above the age. So what can you do? You look for the contract opportunities or the internship opportunities that you can begin to build experiences from, and then you leverage that to apply for more experienced jobs. So that's what I'll put out there. And then there are actually organizations that don't care about your age as long as you are able to do the job. There are some organizations, there are lots of them, not just some. There are lots of them that don't care about your age. So you can also look for those ones in your search for jobs. The second one, you talked about the lady at the back. She said there's no teamwork. I didn't fully get that question though. She said there's no teamwork within the organization, right? But you said the people say, your manager says, come to me if you have questions. But do you ever go to them? There's no welcoming feel from them. Okay. Okay, so there are two things, right? You can either bend to them, become like them, or you stand out, right? Standing out means that regardless of how their outlook is, you meet them, oh, I actually have this question, they say the person that asks questions does not miss their road, right? So regardless of the way that they act, because the truth is some people, they've gotten so used to the culture there that they've just become as every other person is. But sometimes you just see somebody that comes in with a spark of life, and you may just be that change that the organization or that team needs in terms of bringing back that team spirit into the organization. You are reachable, you are nice, you are kind, you actually show care. Some people don't know how to show care, but when they begin to see other people do it, they begin to align. If you feel like it is something that you can do in terms of, I want to change things here, then go ahead. But if you feel like, no, first of all, maybe your spirit is already giving you that no signal, then please, you don't need to stay. If you already have that signal in your spirit, don't stay so that you don't, get into a situation. I know people that they stayed in organizations like that where they're already not feeling comfortable. They just felt, okay, let me just stay. There's no job outside. And then before you know it, they sacked them or somebody framed them. Something very silly happens and it's on record and it's now against you. So if you're already having that, you know that the Holy Spirit is already leading you against this, or you're already having that signal in your spirit that maybe this is not where I should be, then please, you can go. So it's two things. If you can pray to the Holy Spirit to actually clarify the worry you're having in your heart, is it that the Holy Spirit is saying, oh, I need to leave this place? Or it is a challenge for you? Because the truth is, there are some places that you will go to that God is sending you to build some things in you. He's helping you to build your patience, to build your resilience. Because you will not always be in an organization where everybody is nice and smiley. You will meet the people that will criticize you. How do you take those criticisms if you've never been used to it? Do you understand? How do you manage those people if you've always shied away or run away from such situations? So some of those things are there to build you as an individual, and then there's some that it's a no, just go. So pray and get that clarity in your spirit if it's something that you need to leave. Then the next person...
Can I add to what you just said to her? I would also say to her that she should also watch herself. And why am I saying this? Human beings are territorial. And to the extent that you are coming into an organization, the person you've met there, you don't even know what the manager has said over time before he joined. The manager possibly has made the person feel like you don't know anything, I'm bringing a champion. And then it is that we'll see. So the person is waiting. I'll wait to see what that champion will do. You understand? So now you are here now and asking questions. And no matter how good you are from where you are coming from, you have come into an organization, you have to first understand what is on ground. You must know what's up first to know what. So there's no way, there's no magic that you can perform. And you know, so if you then also are perceived to be coming with this champion and whatever, they will lock up now. And then they will just see you, because the guy is already using you as a blackmail for them. So as much as possible also, you should have that, when they are not welcoming, be welcoming yourself. And you know, so just, let me just leave it at that, be welcoming. And like she said, you might be the change. God might be sending you there to be that change. And that will, over time, as long as you are sure in your spirit that Lord is not saying leave, you know, you would realize that at some point you would. I've been in that situation before. I met somebody that felt, he was feeling threatened that I got there. And over time, he realized that this babe is just doing her own thing and is not here to outdo me. And you know, at some point, he just warmed up and he would show me things. Because at the end of the day, from my school time, I have this. If I don't understand, when I get to that point, I'm frustrated, I face the Holy Spirit. And trust me, he will always show you the way out. So over time, when he realized that if he did not show me, I eventually get it, and I don't still use it against him. So, you know, he let down his guard, and we became best of friends. So also watch it. Maybe you are coming with this, I'm coming with a new thing. Maybe you pipe low. Behave like you don't, stoop to conquer. Behave like you don't even know anything, like you want to really learn from them, and you might see them wear a different outlook. Yeah.
So the next question, she talked about
maybe imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome. That's exactly what I wrote down.
I wrote it.
So let me shock you. Even to the senior manager experiences what we call the imposter syndrome, where you feel like you are not good enough for the job. It's different where you can tell that, oh, I cannot do this thing. That's different. But where you are doing it and you're like, hey, hope they will not think, hope they will not know. Everybody experiences that. So that's one. Have that comfort in you to start with. And then the second thing is that have a mindset that for the fact that I got this job, I applied, I got this job, I am here. In as much as they believed in me to give me this job, I will also believe in myself to carry out this job. It's not like I don't have the skill to do it. I have the skill to do it. So I will do it and ignore. So what it does is, when you begin to have that mindset that, yes, so I'm not sure, but I will do it, it begins to build that confidence in you. You need to personally build that confidence in you, because the truth is people can smell your fear in the workplace. They can perceive your fear. That imposter syndrome that you are having, if you dwell on it, people begin to perceive it that, this person doesn't know what they're doing, even when you know what you're doing. So have that mindset of everybody feels like that. For the fact that I'm here, it means that I can do this thing, I know how to do this thing, and I will do this thing. And carry yourself with that air of, I'm going to carry myself, regardless of whether I think I'm qualified or not, because I am here already, I will do this work, and I will do it with the best of my abilities, with the confidence that I have. And you will see yourself improving, and you see that imposter. The truth, it comes at every new stage. At every new challenge or every new level, like, am I qualified for this level? Am I able to do this? But how will you improve if you keep saying, So just have it, confidence in you that, or have that mindset that everybody experiences it. That's one. But two, you need to then build on your confidence that for the fact that you are there, you are qualified for that position. And it begins to give you that confidence to forget about the imposter syndrome.
And in addition, I want to share an experience I had. You know, I got this offer as a finance controller, of course, a multinational company in oil and gas. And the expectation is that management was saying that, oh, we got this investor, they want to invest into our organization. Abiodun, of course, my official name is Abiodun. Abiodun, you need to get this financial modeling out, our cash flow and all of that. And where I had left to this new place, I had one boss that I knew that, oh, financial model, this guy,
is A1 and all of that. And I had a deadline of 3 days. How will I do this? Fear had permeated all my everything in me. I was like, will I disappoint my MD, this, that? And I was following up with this, my former boss. He wasn't responding. I said, please let me just put this thing together. Later I will come and see how you are doing. Blah, blah. The guy was not responding. I had 24 hours left. I was the youth president of this church at that time. I went upstairs. It was on a Sunday after first service. I didn't even wait for Sunday school and DTM. I went to that office. I'm sharing a life story. I sat down. You see, like they mentioned, it's fear. First, calm down. You can do it. Do you know that I sat down? The first time I would attempt a financial model without going for, of course, I've gone for the training and all of that. But as at that time, I sat down, tried to analyze all the things I was expected to do, and I came out with a financial model. I had 24 hours. That Sunday evening, I needed to submit that model because we have an investor meeting on a Monday, and the chairman must go through it. My wife is there. She can attest to it. I sat down there. I did it. To the glory of God, this is church. I did a very good job. I was not confident of what I did because I was making an attempt. But I just said to myself, and I prayed to God. I was just all alone. I locked myself in that office, and I started analyzing this thing. Of course, I've got data from our field engineers. This is what this barrel will produce. This is what this oil will produce. I made assumptions. This. I put everything together, and we got that investment. Sincerely, since then, do you know what that did to me? There's nothing I can overcome. All I need to do is just to be calm. Raise my head up and I will get it. Of course, you can always get people to assist and all of that. But if you are there, like they have said, I don't want to repeat what they have said. All you need to do, please be calm. Don't allow that fear to permeate you and to also reduce what you can do. If you're really calm, for you to be in that organization, of course, out of how many CVs or people they have interviewed, for you to get that opportunity, they believe that you can do it. Tell it to yourself that you can do this thing, and when you calm down, you will definitely do it. Let me just answer this question about secondment on assignment. Professionally, it is quite wrong that you are seconded to an assignment. Maybe you are an auditor, for instance. You are auditing a client, and that client is trying to pouch you or something. In some of the engagement, they would have stated it. You don't pouch our staff, you don't do this and all of that. Maybe at the backyard now, things can happen. But professionally, I don't think it is right that you are seconded on a job. You are asked to go and audit or do something on another job, and of course, you find out that there is an opportunity, and because it's something that has happened to us, and it was really a serious issue. Auditors came to audit us, and we felt that, this guy will be a good fit for one of our open role and all of that. We started talking, and when that auditing firm, of course, they still remain our audit firm. Maybe that was the error we did, and when they found out, it was a serious issue. So, but HR can speak to that, but I think you need to be very careful. If you are seconded to a job and they are trying to pouch you, what does the law say? Poach you, I think you should. Is that? It's a breach of that contract. Let us speak to that.
So, in most secondment contracts, they will even have a clause that says you cannot even engage with this client or receive any offer from this client for some. It depends. Some people say a year, some people say 6 months. It depends, right? But what you can do is you can build relationships there, professional relationships there. You don't need to immediately apply, because the truth is, I'll give an example. There was a lady that we actually seconded to one of our clients, and the seconded her to one of our clients, and before you know it, they told us they want to give her an offer. Okay, it's against your contract. And she said they are giving her an offer. No problem. My director said, fine. He allowed them. They gave her the job. They gave her the job. And
I mean, this is the secular workplace. He slowly but surely removed that from that position. He kept giving feedback about her work that, oh, she's not really competent, she's not qualified for this, she's not. And the CEO of the organization respected my director. So he was taking these things, and maybe on a normal day, oh, you sent a wrong email, something that, oh, I'm sorry, you recall it. He began to pick any small mistake that this lady did and began using it against her. So you have to be very careful. Some things you have to prayerfully make such decisions. Because first of all, you went against the law that was on your contract. You went against what was on your contract. So what I would advise is keep a relationship with somebody inside that place, right? So that you can come back if an opportunity arises. But breaching your contract to get an offer there, most times it doesn't play out good. Most times.
Okay, so just to add, lend my voice to the imposter syndrome. It happens to the best of us. Yes, I just transitioned into a role last year. I would say it's a role that is bigger than my foot, you know, and joining the organization, maybe I had a vague view of it won't be that hard. And it was really challenging. But you know what? Waking up every day, and people around me know, because I share the testimonies every time to everyone that cares to listen. That last year, that was a year of with the Holy Spirit. Oh God, the Holy Spirit helped me. Anytime. And you have people you find there that are already, maybe they are threatened by your being there, and you think you are waiting for them to teach you what to do. Like Deacon Biodun said, last minute, I've never attended an exco, a board meeting, and I was now asked to come and present. So what do you have to offer here? You know, and I was relying on somebody that is there, is the strategy officer, is this, and everybody seemed to listen to him. So, you know, I pitched my tent with him. Oh, I'd drawn up something. Oh, he would help me look at it to see if, you know what? I think 18 minutes to the meeting was when he even cared to open what I had sent to him. And by which time, I didn't have that much time to design any PowerPoints. I didn't have any time to, you know. Of course, he also had a presentation the same day. But when we got to the EXCO meeting, I had frozen, but I kept on calling on the Holy Spirit. And by the time I made my presentation, it was as if, oh, they've been waiting for me all this while. And by the time he opened his own, he had very beautiful presentation, though, colorful, with animations and all of that. Mine didn't have one animation. By the time he got to, I'm not trying to compare here. I'm only trying to say the people that you are looking up to, that, oh, this person is, by the time in fact, maybe he was left to present the first page and the second slide. The way they tore his presentation down, I really felt for him. I'm not trying to compare it. I'm only saying that just rely on the Holy Spirit. Tell yourself you can do it. Tell it to yourself that you can do it. With the Holy Spirit, forget it. Forget it, you can do it. Whatever it is that you were successful to have been employed, anything, there's nothing that what God cannot do does not exist though. In my own this thing. I think the next question I have, yes, is talking about undergraduates. So we've talked so much about after NYSC, but the real preparation, I believe, it starts way ahead of that. And thanks to Bro Taiwo for that question, because it will really go a long way in helping our teenagers and I think our undergraduates. There are a lot of, so whatever it is that we want to be at the end of the day, we don't wake up to that dream job. It's something, so we need to be intentional. And being intentional would even start from, we are undergraduates. In our exams, let's be careful, let's be mindful, let's be intentional. Let me put it that way. So we don't just go through school like, I'm there and whatever it is that I score. Let's be intentional with our scores. Have we tried it before? For those of us who have graduated, you get to a time that you look at your GP and then you analyze and see that at this rate, if you are not careful, you would end up with a grade that you don't want. And then you sit up and re-strategize and analyze. Okay, so if I have A's in this, it would get me to 2-1, or if it's still a first class or something. So for our undergraduates, I would say that we should be intentional. We should not just go through school like I'm there and I have to just mediocrity is something that I believe that we should fight at every level. So, and you find it easier as an undergraduate because you technically still have that clean slate, to write out or to design what you would want to come out with. So in life, most times when there's an advert for a job, you find them defining basic criterion that would qualify you to apply. Let it not be that we'll use our own hands to do ourselves, in quotes, for lack of better words. So where we are still undergraduates, especially if you are in 100 level, determine that you would come out with a first class. Don't have that mindset that is defeated already before starting, because that's one thing that will hold some people back. So if, as an undergraduate that is just starting, you have that opportunity to finish with a first class, give it all you can to come out well. And if you're already in your 200 level, 300 level, if you are still dangling between 2.2 and 2.1, you can still do it. It will just take you to sit down and ensure that you have A's in all your the next couple of exams, and then you land your 2.1. I would like us to have that mindset that anything less than 2.1, even a 2.1 to me is a mediocre grade, to really be honest. I had 2.1. For me, it's not, maybe if your 2.1 is 4.49, maybe you are that A, but if your 2.1 is between 3.5 to 4, I beg, you are just there on the average. So as an undergraduate, I would say that we should learn. And for those courses that you've said, the engineer that you said you've done, HSC 1, 2, 3, just know it that they are not a waste. They will come handy one day. Just, you would say I said it. They will come handy one day. Don't take it as a waste. While you are pursuing your professional courses, the ones you already have, celebrate them. To the extent that when you have your next interviews and you are asked to describe a scenario, you will find out that some of those things that you were taught while training on your caution, your safety, and all of that, you find them handy. So, yeah.
Okay, this is the last person, last question, last answer.
Last question. Okay, there are actually 3 questions. So let me just, I think okay, you know what, I'll just take the last question. Right, I think the last question was, she talked about if you're doing something that is not that is not official, how do you impute it into your CV? So I think we already sort of touched on it in terms of how look for the things that are transferable, right? Look for those skills that are transferable between what you're doing and what you want to do, right? Also look for a way to, the truth is, most of the things that, there was a joke I saw online, a lady that helps people to write their CV, and she was writing a CV for okay, you know what? She was writing a CV for a prostitute, and she said, "You've handled stakeholders in, like, if you see the way she described what this prostitute structured, what this." You would, in fact, it was crazy. So most of the things is just being able to package and rephrase what you've done and, sell it better. Just like how I talked about as a cashier, I sold something, right? I said it in 2 different ways. So yes, I sold goods. And then I explained how I can detail that response to show that I am a problem-solving person. I'm detailed in how I approach things. Do you understand? So it's just being able to phrase that
experience that you have, that you've gathered, no experience is wasted. Just like how Madam has said about, the certificates or courses you've taken, nothing is wasted. The problem is that we have people take a lot of online courses, a lot of online certifications, and you can't even pick one knowledge that you can't demonstrate one knowledge from those many courses you've taken. So that's where the problem comes from. It's not that those things are not, they may not be recognized, but it's not that they're not relevant. It's that you've not been able to apply those things to yourself and to your CV and to your work. So if you're able to apply that thing, phrase it in a way that shows the value you've been able to do, whether it was unofficial or official, right, into your CV, you'll be able to, most of these things are just packaging.
So in my last place of work, there was an opportunity for graduate trainees. And what's the thing that will stand them out? They have little work experience and they have masters. And I have this particular lady. The work experience that she had was her own company. And that was what she used. And if you know what a graduate trainee program is, it's giving a leverage that is higher than a regular entry level, and like a fast track. Yes, it's like a fast track into that career growth. And so if doing what is yours and you're able to present it well, package it well, it can even also be a leverage for you.
Okay, please can we give a round of applause to every one of them? I really think we should even continue this conversation, but we have to go and there's work tomorrow. Thank you so much, Sister Bisi. Thank you so much, Sister Deborah. Thank you so much, Deacon Jide. We had a great time. Before the president comes to wrap everything up, please let's know that our program continues on Wednesday with prayer meeting. We'll be having a youth pastor from another association come. Okay, there'll be exchange of puppets. I don't know the model now. Then Thursday, we are going to be having a health talk on cancer awareness and prevention. Then Friday, movie night. Saturday, a sessional rally, and Sunday, our get together. Please, let's come early on Thursday. Let's come early for all our programs so that we'll have enough time together. And Lord bless us. Thank you so much for listening. And thank you once again to our guest. God bless you, President.
Thank you very